our New Day stand, national headquarters. Today is an important day. As you are all aware, we are gearing towards the July 17th enough protest. So issues of important concerns relating to the protest and the different points of gathering and other information as regards to our joint security and Liberia National Police will be briefed to you by the chairman. So we want you to please turn off your phone or put it on silent and give us your undivided attention. So the chairman will speak to us and we will take it from the chair. So you are welcome.
All right, so thank you, gentlemen. Is that a lady?
Yeah.
Okay. So ladies and gentlemen of the press, we are profoundly grateful for the opportunity that the Liberian people entrusted to our care to spearhead this mass-based, redemptive, pro-democracy initiative. Please put your phone silent, man. Silent. So we are grateful for the opportunity that we've been given to blessedly spearhead this very important mass-based, redemptive and restorative initiative that is being supported by a groundswell of Liberians in their hundreds of thousands, if not millions, to ensure basic social services are protected and strengthened, to ensure that there is a restoration of the doctrine of the rule of law, to ensure justice through all the country, regardless of status, regardless of one's education, regardless of one's class orientation, regardless of their ethnicity or religious background, is achieved for every Liberian citizen, be it those that are resident in the homeland or those that are in the diaspora. This process started small, as every genuine process auto, and has generated so much enthusiasm, to the extent that it is supported on every continent where Liberians are present, every country within the geographic bailiwick of the Republic of Liberia, every district, every zone, every hamlet, every mountaintop, across every river, before every valley. This is not a process that is about us, but about the people, the struggling citizens of the Republic, those that continue to be disenfranchised, the marginalized, the economically dispossessed, victims of cruel, insensitive, government-backed demolition exercises. Victims of state-backed, insensitive, and senseless demolition exercises, victims of police brutality, those that are alienated from civil service because of their political identities. Liberians that have been excluded from being beneficiary of a viable healthcare sector that continues to be dilapidated and remains deplorable. While President Mbaka lies every day to the people of Liberia, to the extent where the deplorability of the healthcare sector is visible. Marketeers who leave their homes every day go to various market centers, various business locations, and sit all day without one customer coming to ask, how much is this, how much is that? They leave home empty, go to marketplaces, and go back home empty. And sometimes they have to pay more than what they made in profit or capital to ride commercial vehicles or to ride motorbikes that have been restricted. Bike riders in the hundreds of thousands that constitute a viable component of our economy, from whom more than 14 million US dollars were generated in taxes, licenses, helmets, reflective jackets. But yet they are not allowed to move about freely. Motorbike riders contributed in 1 year more than 14 million United States dollars to the national budget. Yet their rights are being restricted from plying the street to go to Shipment Monrovia, where corrupt government officials go to work only to dilly-dally for pleasantries, and they are paid by taxpayers who struggle, who labor to raise resources for the corrupt to enjoy. The time has come to say enough is enough. No matter the efforts being made to politicize this process, it is a non-political activity. It's a non-political struggle. It is about the people of Liberia that are struggling every day. Taxes have been raised from their backs, from their struggles, from their suffering. They labor every day, some brick rack, some on minefields, working on plantations to make money, paying taxes. Like in Kinjar, where police brutality was demonstrated when the Gregory Cuomo-led police bandit unit and the elite police force was deployed by Joseph Boakai himself under his authority. 3 young men that would have been seated today with us in this conference room, or that would have been in the classroom, or that should have been someplace doing legal hustle, were brutally gunned down by the Gregory Cuomo-led police force, only for exercising their democratic right to protest against the bad labor practices of Bee Mountain in Grand Cape County, that is hauling millions and millions, if not tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions per annum to foreign capitals, while the living condition of Cape Mountaineers remain degraded, remain inhumane. When the people of Grand Cape County are dehumanized every day about economic deprivation, the time has come for Liberians to stand and say enough is enough. the JFK, the John F. Kennedy Medical Center, where Joseph Boyka doing the sonar lied. Boyka lied at the State of the Nation address that prescription drugs have been procured for medical centers, including JFK. But today, don't take my word for it, go to JFK. Ordinary Liberians go to a state-run hospital. Some die on the floor because there are no beds to treat patients. Nursing mothers with their children, young baby mothers, have to endure hardship in hospital walls, suffer hunger because funding raised or provided by the state to provide feeding for nursing mothers is either inadequate or cannot provide a good nutritional diet, to the extent where nurses have to put money together to buy food for nursing babies or for nursing mothers that are breastfeeding their babies. At the JFK, don't believe my words, go there. No matter how much they try to wipe the hospital and make it look good, within the walls of that entity lies the cruelty of abandonment by a government that prides itself on coming to rescue the Liberian people. If JFK is deplorable and dilapidated, if women are held in captivity at JFK for weeks, for days, because they cannot raise $40 US to pay for their medical bill when they give birth, they think about what is happening in Liberia or Maryland County, or even Mulbah, where Joseph Boyka hails from. Except we must add that he's from Mulbah and Sierra Leone, or Grand Cape County, or Wapolu, Mankibi, Bon County, even Limba, where Jeremiah Moon comes from, but is spending more money on empowering and brutalizing people or weaponizing the police force. They're investing in the healthcare sector in Limba. Our people are struggling in Grand Bassa County or Riverside or Grand Jida. Even Monserrado's District 1, District 17, and other districts are equally cut off from healthcare delivery advantages. The time has come to say enough is enough. The AFL consider the guardians of our territorial or border integrity patriotic men and women in the army who are supposed to be beneficiaries of the best social services that citizens deserve, because these are men giving their lives, or that should give their life for the country. They live in barracks that are most times cut out from key social services. Most of these barracks lack latrine facilities or toiletry facilities. There's the presence of poor sanitary facilities that is contributing to the outbreak of sicknesses that put their families at risk. You found 10 persons, you found 12 persons, you found 8 children, 5 children bundled in one small room at the various barracks of the armed forces of Liberia. The inconvenience of their subjugation is unbearable, and government is neglecting that vital sector. The AFL are men and women, or constitute men and women that should not be cut off, that should not be deprived of basic social services. Because they have families, they have their children, they have their wives. That must not be forgotten. A situation where Patrick Honor of the LTA is procured gasoline or fuel that runs in the thousands of dollars, where a member of the army makes $250 per month, is cruelty to the service, is an insult to the intelligence and the service of the men and women in arms. It must be revised. The time has come to say enough is enough. The police. Today, police people continue to be cut off from basic social economic advantages. And I'm not surprised to have seen videos or a particular video trending. Social media. A police force has been so degraded. A police force that has men and women that are intelligent, that are trained, and that are professionals, appears to have given way to criminals of mediocrity. And we are hearing this is to be investigated, allegedly, that Gregory Cuomo recruited criminals. In some cases, people from the NSA are now in police uniform. So no wonder you see the dramatic display of mockery to the service, where police officers are demonstrating violence or pro-violent messages, and are demonstrating a scenario that is provocative for the security and the protection of peaceful protesters. If you have a professional police force that was trained by U.S. taxpayers' money, the government of the United States, and thanks to them, spend their taxes, their tax dollar, to train this police force that has been mismanaged by Gregory Cuomo and transformed to take on the appearance of a militant or regional, a militant surrogate grouping of the ruling Unity Party. That continues to disgrace its patriotism, its doctrine of service, and is behaving as though they are loyal to Greg and not to the state. While the police is even now trying to desecrate the Messianic teaching in the history of our Messiah, marching in arms, and citing from John 11:35, and using that to create fear, pandemonium, and panic. Do you know the meaning of John 11:35? Do you know why Jesus wept? He wept at the grave of Lazarus. That is a tragic depiction of the burden he carried as a Messiah that is sensitive to the plight of a human being. He was mourning for the loss of his brother, of a friend. He was mourning for the tragic reality of a world lost to sin. A world that had lost faith and became dejected and chose their own path. The police is trying to mistakenly, erroneously draw inspiration from John 11:35 to establish a pattern of brutality. Shame on you for twisting the agony of a Messiah to appease your desire for bloodshed or for bloodletting. They are marching in police uniform, carrying guns, and quoting John 11:35, where there is a peaceful protest planned for June 17, July 17. July 17. Are you sending a message that you will brutalize civilians on July 17? And misquoting John 11:35 and using that to weaponize your agenda to brutalize, to subjugate, and victimize peaceful protesters that are campaigning for the rule of law, for stability, for economic growth, for justice, etc. This is wrong. Warming up in blue, our national colors, with arms, to demonstrate their preparedness to victimize, to cause mayhem, to attack innocent citizens, as it was done in King George. This is blasphemous. You blaspheme the name of the Messiah for those of us that are Christians. And the Christian church must rise up in swift condemnation, because men carry guns that are brutalizing innocent civilians cannot be drawing strength from the messianic examples of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Regardless, we are peaceful, we are non-violent, but we are fearless. We will stand, we will confront you. We will resist your tendency towards blood. We will do it. We will be non-violent, but we will continue to be fearless. Because we are the people, and power is inherent in the people. We're not afraid of you. Not even Boakai. And this establishes why the likes of Gregory Common must resign. Why masterminds of these sort of brutal actions and undemocratic proceedings like Kofi Wu must resign. We will never retreat from this patriotic, non-violent fight. We will not stoop low. We will not compromise. We will keep standing, even at the peril of our lives. We will not retreat from any coward like Joseph Boakai, who remains a coward, the biggest coward of this republic, that sits before the world's most powerful man, that asked him, what can I do for your country? And Boakai could not even present his agenda to the President of the United States. He couldn't discuss health care or education or the filthy economy. He could not. Or peace and stability. Liberians are dying here from hunger, for the lack of basic social services. And Joseph Boakai is privileged to be seated a breath away from the world's most powerful man. They ask him, what can I do for you or for your country? And all Boakai could say is, my country has minerals. How about your people? The millions of Liberians are struggling every day, calling from basic social services. You say it's shut down. How about a 48% budget allotment from Western powers, from the US? That's been cut down. You could not think about your people for once. You could not. You are only thinking about how to maximize profit, how to make money. All you to say was, my country has minerals, because all that you ever think about is how to pocket money, how to live the life of luxury. I will ride wheelbarrow to work if I have to. What is important is to do the people's work, Joseph Boakai. 3 months after, you are riding Lexus luxury jeeps that jointly cost close to $1 million or more, US dollars. Why did you make Amin Wada to resign? Why did you coerce or ask him to resign? For buying vehicles that cost $19,000. But you were to come months later, few months later, to buy 2 Lexus that cost anywhere around $1 million US dollars. The betrayal of trust. When you criticize your predecessor that was going to ride luxury jets, only to come back few years after and justify why you must ride luxury jets when people are suffering and struggling, people dying from hunger-related causes in our country. Corruption has reached its peak. Exchange rate over $200 US dollars, $211 to $1 US dollars. And yet you are not moved. You are still riding 2 luxury Lexus SUVs. You are still enjoying luxury flights when people are struggling. When bank runners are struggling to put $5 a day in their motorbike tanks. When taxi drivers are struggling to afford money to fill their tanks to do businesses. And you claim to be a rescuer. We have come to say, enough is enough. Joseph Boakai is a fraud. You are a coward. Of course, respect President Trump. He deserves to be respected. I want to believe that Liberia must continue to be grateful to the United States for standing by us, even doing war. But are you telling me Joseph Boakai lacks the courage to stand before a respectable counterpart and make a case for Liberia? You lost the biggest stage in your life. You lost the biggest stage in your life that may never come back. To sit before President Trump and you could not make a case for Liberia. You are a coward. You are weak. You are the weakest president ever in the history of this country. So you're weak. And you come back here and you expect to celebrate your achievement, your premier achievement of spoken English. And you don't even know why the president praised you. Because you were sitting around a table with other presidents that are not from English-speaking countries. They were all speaking through interpreters. So it's like the land of the blind, one man with one eye is king. That's the scenario. So everyone speaking French or Arabic, and you alone spoke English. So President Trump then said, you speak good English. Not because you rather speak good English, but because judging from what the others were speaking, they were not English speakers. So you were graded by that reality. Not because you spoke. What did you really say there that is unique? That the children in West Point can say? Or the children in Foya can say? What you say there? And you come back home and you are celebrating as an achievement. How does that put bread on the table of struggling citizens? It means you don't take governance seriously. To go to the United States and you cannot make a case before the most powerful man in the world means you don't take or you don't understand the challenges of the Liberian people seriously. You don't understand the challenges of the Liberian people seriously. The time has come to say, enough is enough. So we can sit the whole day and talk because there are many things to talk about. But at this point, we want to say thank you to all Liberians. For the last 2 months or so, you've been standing by yourself. Because this fight is your fight. You've been supporting, you've been raising money in the United States. You've been raising money. And this witch hunt of state security agencies, where when someone gets dying, they are looking for your number. They are finding a way to target you. Everything on the bucket is witch hunt. On the job, witch hunt. Business sector, witch hunt. This is not a country we want to live in, where one man wants to become the Lord and gospel of the state and will place himself above the constitution of the country. No, that will not happen. You can't continue to have a speaker of the house because, and to quote Rachel Cohn, he is from the CDC. Doesn't matter. He was elected. And Walker couldn't stop at nothing until they raised and stole taxpayers' money, robbed the tax coffer, to bribe lawmakers, to remove fanatic cover. The historic reconciliation. You were in room with Speaker Kofa. You were kneeling before the Pope, may his soul rest in peace, with the Speaker, and promising him that you were standing by him, while giving instructions on the ground for Kun to dip his hand in the tax coffers to remove Kofa as Speaker. Walker is a wicked human being. So you don't have the moral to discuss reconciliation here. To reconcile, go and first reconcile with those that supported you and made you president. You've driven them away, betrayed them, lied to them. And you have adopted a desire for dictatorship to be Kim Jong-un. That will not happen. You remove Kofa, and the Supreme Court held in check, and you insulted the Supreme Court. Insulted the Supreme Court. And undermined the independence of the court system. Because for you, you need to prepare the ground now that makes it easier to be re-elected in 2029 without opposition. We say, enough is enough. Legislature led by regime speaker, the police weaponized with criminals in blue now, killing civilians, killing backgrounders, beating market women. 2 years from now, you will appoint commissioner and elections commission that will be your partisans or your sympathizers. You have appointed an Ibanya recommended by Kun to be Chief Justice because you want to ensure the next election will be a coronation, not an election. That will not happen.
No way.
That will not happen. That's why those that have stake in this process must come out and stop working before you stop our democracy. You must stop Joseph Boakai before he stops our democracy and bury it deep down 6 feet. It's time to stand to the abuse of the rule of law, to police brutality. It's time. So we say, enough is enough. So everything is on course. And we are grateful to Liberians in Europe, in the United States, on the ground, grassroots in every country, in the various districts. We are grateful for the CDC you lead that endorse this process, while others are playing hanky-panky and choosing convenient alternatives. They chose to stand with the people because this is a people's fight, not my fight. It is the people's fight. So we said thanks to the youth league. We said thanks to student-based groupings that endorsed this process. Thank you. To civil society organizations that have endorsed this process, we said thank you. To religious institutions that have endorsed this process. To major stakeholders that have either overtly or quietly endorsed this process, we said thank you. Those giving their support, we said thank you. You are driving the people's-based revolutionary advocacy process to a logical conclusion. So we are ready for July the 17th. We are ready. July 17th will be the mother of our protest. Liberians, it will be peaceful. It will be non-violent. We are not violent cadres. And we will never allow ourselves to be used as apostles of violence. We will always be peaceful because we love this country. Liberia is the only place we call home. Watch out for those that are violent, those that have an agenda. The police continue to display symbols of violence. They continue to demonstrate that they have an agenda. At one point they are lying that there could be protesters with arms in the crowd. Under pressure at the Justice Minister meeting, he withdrew those comments. Then he make it public. There are surrogate groupings and individuals of the governing establishment that have clearly threatened to undermine the existing process of the existing process or the rule of law during this period. They are threatening vitriol at different levels. They are threatening extreme actions. And we want the government to publicly denounce these groups. Because some have notorious history in this country. They said they've killed more than 20,000 Liberian citizens, innocent citizens, and they are still here. They are being rewarded with state security positions. They are in the communities, inciting violence, threatening to wreak havoc on peaceful civilians. The government is under obligation to distance or denounce their activities. There are groupings that also come up and will stage counter protests. The government is under obligation to denounce their activities. We do not have fear. Because if the government refuses or fails to denounce these groups or to restrain them from exhibiting or provoking violence and they come in the street, their actions and their escalation of violence will be the government's sole responsibility, not ours. Joseph Boakai will be held accountable for any escalation that is directly traced to the activities of surrogate groupings that are traced to his party or to his government. We will be peaceful. We will forever be peaceful and law-abiding. But those that are armed with a violent agenda that want to create a state of fear, panic, and pandemonium, they will cause Mr. Boakai great losses because they are determined to plunge this country into crisis. And we don't want crisis. We will never be participants of violence. So Boakai will bear the greatest responsibility for any escalation that ensues in the aftermath of that unwarranted and baseless act of aggression against the Liberian people. They need to act now to deter or to contain any possibility of violence or threat to peace and stability. I repeat this again. We will always be non-violent. We will always be not violent. We will always be peaceful. We will never initiate any act of violence against the state. It is, however, the police and surrogates of Mr. Boakai that have a clearly defined agenda to plunge Liberia into crisis, violence, and lawlessness. And Walker is under responsibility to ensure such things will not occur. If he fails to do so, he bears responsibility for any escalation that may ensue on July 17. July 17 is our moment to conduct a peaceful protest. And Buakai and his supporters should give us chance to hold him accountable. This is a requirement of the rule of law and protected by Article 17 of the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia. And there's nothing Gregory Comer can do about that. He can stop it, he can delay it, and we question him. If the blood of any protester is wasted on the 17th, there will be consequences. There will be consequences. Coleman is not mastered yet. This is not a plantation. The time for plantation politics has ended. It will not happen now. Protesters, peaceful protesters are Liberian citizens and deserve the right to disagree with you and hold you accountable when their safety or their security so requires. That moment has come. And nothing you can do about it. We are coming outside. It will be gigantic. It will be Herculean. The masses are coming out. They will be heard on the street because backgrounders were denied voice at the Supreme Court. So they were speaking the street of Liberia. And they will speak peacefully. And we encourage you to give way. Don't stand in the way of the people. They are peaceful. They respect the rule of law. And they want to express themselves in regards to bad governance and what threatens our security. Don't stand in the way. You can keep exhibiting the strength of 3,000 police officers all day long. That's your right. Even though we are more than 100,000 to 3,000, you can keep exhibiting their strength. They can drink alcohol and get drunk and misbehave. That's your right. Though it is reckless. But they must not misbehave on the 17th against peaceful protesters. They must not. Into the wise?
Was sufficient.
Now, with that said, those that are victims of police brutality, the 17th is your day. Those who lost relatives to a poor healthcare sector, who are still grieving and nursing the death of their loved ones because the healthcare sector is poor and deplorable. The 17th is your day. Market women that live home every day go to marketplaces, go to the market ground, and they pay more money to get in taxi going home than what they make at the marketplace. You don't make profit. But still, the LMA is imposing taxes on you for the officials to live better while you struggle. The 17th of July is your day. Civil servants that are dismissed illegitimately. Ministry of State, Ministry of Transport, EPS. You are dismissed because they have identified you with a particular political institution. This is wrong. And the 17th is your day. Come outside. Come out. See those that were employed at the legislature. Because there is a squabble internally at the legislature where one speaker is removed lawlessly. All those that were employed through the right civil service mechanism were also dismissed. This is witch hunt. And the 17th is your moment to be heard. Come out. Come out. Don't be scared. The police are scared. They are afraid of what you can do. Not that you'll be violent, but that you are going to be uncompromising in coming outside. And you will overwhelm their presence with a loud cry for justice for your families. Don't be scared. The police is your servants. You pay them. They can do you nothing. They intimidate you and control you through fear. Reject fear. Come outside. I'm challenging Gabriel Koba. He cannot initiate violence against you. He's not meant to do that. He's not meant to do that. Joseph Boakai is the servant of the people. One Protestant left lost is trouble for Boakai. That is why we will always speak against King John massacre and call for Gabriel Koba and Leslie Freeman to be prosecuted for the murder of innocent civilians in King John, who will never rest. Go to King John. Your time has come. Come outside. Your relatives, your friends were killed because they stood up against the bad-level abuses of B Mountain. Come out. When you are coming out, your dress code is our national colors. Red, white, and blue. Red, white, and blue. Red, white, and blue. Members of STEM that have got their STEM colors may come in yellow. So let's add yellow. Red, white, official dress code of July 17. That will forever be remembered as the greatest demonstration of the might and the power of the people in non-violence resistance process to hold a corrupt and coward president to account for crimes being committed against the Liberian state. Don't be afraid. Your movement has come. Motorbike riders, any bike rider who stays home on the 17th of July, it means you have agreed that Joseph Boakai is doing you well. Bike riders that stay home are endorsing Boakai's brutality, ill treatment against them. Those homes have been broken down through targeted demolition exercises. It's your time to be heard. Come out. Kongata is right here. They are breaking homes to build overhead bridge. Bakalano Hostel stands up. Right next door. They are breaking homes right here, Kongata. They said they build overhead bridge. We support that. We call with love development. But how can you are doing selective demolition exercises when George Calando's empire is still standing up in the same place where the homes of poor people have been broken down? This is injustice. Victims of that, come out. Victims at Stoughton Creek, come out. Boakai's brutality has grown new homes to the extent where even those that stood under the sun and the rain have been targeted. They are now being targeted. Ministry of Transport. How can you take the functions of the ministry, the most important and significant functions of the ministry, and you reallocate these functions to Lebanese business entity? You take away the functions of the Ministry of Transport and reallocate these functions to a Lebanese-run business entity, leaving Liberians completely disempowered. They choose peaceful protest as a way of expressing their grievances and their disapproval of that baseless and unpatriotic policy, and you deploy police to beat, dehumanize, and brutalize them. To the extent where a middle-aged man, I hope I'm right, is brutalized, he falls to the ground, he's complaining, I have a health problem. Take me to the hospital. And the police is there refusing to take a man to a hospital because he's faced with a life-threatening problem traced to police brutality. Gabriel Coleman cannot be allowed to continue to be a policeman because he's brutal, he's violent. And it's been established that he's corrupt. Appointing people based on proximity, based on interest. This is wrong. Even those that are United Party partisans, that I agree, don't sit down. It's not about a particular political party, it's about the country. It's about you. Because every politics is local. Every politics is local. When you say politics is about bread and butter, it's about your survival, it's about livelihood, it's about peace, stability, it's about the country. So don't be quiet. It's time. Now, we will now announce to you the different routes that will be used and the gathering point that will close this very important press conference. First of all, the police has committed on the record that it will remove every checkpoint from Pinsville to Capital Bypass, from Douala to Capital Bypass. So the 17th of July, we'll see no police checkpoint along the two routes. It will be free for protesters, peaceful protesters. They've also committed that there will be no police presence. There will be no police presence along the route from Pinsville to Capital Bypass and from Douala to Capital Bypass. So we expect to have no police interference, no police presence, no police obstruction to protesters converging or gathering from the two different entry points to Capital Bypass peacefully, except Jalastan Road, except UN Drive. These two routes will be left for non-protesting Liberian citizens that have the right also to plow the routes and for police or security operations. If there will be police along the routes, they have to be traffic police. We don't have a problem with that. But police units with guns will not be expected to be along these routes because we don't want any altercation with police. We don't want any provocation with police. It has been committed to by the head of the police force. So we call upon Liberians to come out freely. Backriders, come outside peacefully. That your day, you've been denied forever. That one day is yours. Use it peacefully and responsibly to demonstrate that your rights have been abused and call the world attention to your plight. Because to the situation against backriders, to restrictions against backriders, we have to say enough is enough. So, gathering points. Please take note of the different gathering points where our people will be expected to converge early on July 17. District 1 will assemble at Parker Pint. District 2 will assemble at 72nd Junction. District 3 will assemble also at 72nd Junction. District 4 will assemble at Dupont Road Junction. District 5 and District 6 will assemble at ELWA Junction. District 7 will assemble at the following points: Duco Hill up Broad Street, LDC Total Gas Station, down West Point area, and PHP. District 8 will assemble on Johnson and Broad Streets, G.W. Gibson, and Buzo quarters. District 9 were assembled at the Vamuma Junction. District 10 were assembled at Kia Moto or Jote School area and at the CDC headquarters. District 11 were assembled at Bannersville Junction. District 12 were assembled at Stephen Tubber and Bannersville Junction. District 13 were assembled at the Freeport of Monrovia, like District 14 were assembled at the Freeport of Monrovia. District 15 were assembled at the Logan Town Cinema. District 16 were assembled at the Point 4 Junction. District 17 also were assembled at the Point 4 Junction. Enough is enough. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming. We are grateful for your presence. God bless you and see you on the 17th of July.
So this was the voice of the chairman of STEM. Thanks so much for watching. This is DTV Online.